Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. I have to make another video on the retirement of Derek Jeter because I realized something huge I didn't cover before. And before I get started, I just gotta let anyone know who's like my father. If you're a big Yankees fan, you probably shouldn't watch this video. I have a feeling that if I showed it to my dad, he'd die right in his chair. But here we go. Number 2 for Derek Jeter was retired Sunday, May 14th during a doubleheader against the Astros. The year Derek Jeter was drafted into Major League Baseball, the Astros had the number 1 pick and they took Phil Nevin. Anyhow, Derek Jeter wore number 2. He became the 22nd Yankee player to have his jersey retired as number 2. 22. Notice the name Jeter in gematria sums to 22, and he wore number 2. For his retirement, Michael Jordan was there, and the reason why is because Derek Jeter was a big part of the Jordan brand of basketball shoes. Basketball equals 22. Remember, Michael Jordan tried to play baseball as well. What's interesting is if you write out 22, it sums to 42, and Jeter's retirement, it comes at age 42. Jeter played shortstop for the Yankees in NYC. Shortstop equals 42. NYC equals 42. So does the word Freemason, 42. In his career with the Yankees, Jeter won 5 World Series. 5 has gematria 42. And what's interesting is World Series also has gematria of 147. Why does that matter? In numerology, 22 is the master builder number. The Freemasons, once upon a time, builders, or the true Masons were. Master builder has gematria of 147, just like World Series, and Freemason also has the gematria of 147. You see how Freemason comes together with 42 and 147? Jeter, who won 5 World Series, having his jersey retired at age 42. Does it make sense? Freemason 42, 22 42, 22 the master builder number, Masons builders. The Freemasons building this world around us as we know it, from the language to the calendar to the sports leagues. American baseball credited to Abner Doubleday, the Freemason. American football credited to the Freemason Walter Camp. American basketball credited to Naismith, the Freemason. Freemasonry is running it. Notice in gematria, Freemasonry sums to 58 like secret society. The name Jeter also equals 58 like 2. 2, symbolic number, has to do with foundation, mathematics, division. The full name of Derek Jeter is Derek Sanderson Jeter, which equals 84, like United States of America, like Masonry, like Zionism. This is a nation built by Freemasons. What's interesting about it being a doubleheader against the Astros, the team that could have drafted him, is doubleheader has gematria of 224, and if you take all the numbers that divide into 84, it sums to 224. So we get 2 games for the retirement of number 2 against the team who's first place in the American League, where the Yankees are used to being in the history of baseball, the most winningest team in baseball history. But just think about how perfect it all is. 2 games for the retirement of number 2 against the team that could have took him. You know, the Astros haven't been winning much in the time Derek Jeter dominating Major League Baseball. Had to love the hits at 9 and 11 with the first game, you know, New York, 9-11, Yankees World Series. Right after 9-11, the first World Series to ever be pushed into November. In case you missed the first videos I put out before the retirement actually happened, this is what I was talking about. From Jeter's 42nd birthday, June 26, 2016, that's the date of his birth, June 26, to the date of the retirement, May 14th, that was 322 days, 322, and to his upcoming 43rd birthday, 43 days, and the name Derek equals 43. If you write out 42, it sums to 43. So 322 days after his last birthday, 43 days to his upcoming, 322 is the number of Yale's Skull and Bones. Yale, not too far from New York City and Connecticut. Yale has the gematria of 43, and right now Derek Jeter and Jeb Bush, who's from that family that comes out of Skull and Bones, the Bush family from New Haven where Yale is, Derek Jeter and Jeb Bush trying to buy the Florida or Miami Marlins. Now get this, if you're not aware. Let me pull up the calculator just so you can really appreciate this. Skull and Bones equals 41. Yale equals 43. George Herbert Walker Bush, the 41st president, was a member of Skull and Bones. He was also the 43rd vice president to Reagan. His son, George W. Bush, became the 43rd president of the United States. He also went to Yale and Skull and Bones. Jeb Bush was too dumb, but Jeb Bush was the 43rd governor of Florida when Bush was named the president. Remember how when Bush was selected, they first said Gore was the winner, and then they said, wait, it's too close in Florida. We got to recount where Jeb Bush was the 43rd governor. These rituals, masonry, as I always explain, the world of sports, the world of fake news, the world of politics, it's all part of Masonic ritual. It's all intertwined, and if you learn the code of gematria, you can see right through what's going on every single day in this world. It's funny to think that as a child, Derek Jeter was my hero, and the Bushes I couldn't stand. And here they are, all in the same fraternity together. Something else that somebody pointed out with regards to his retirement on May 14th, adding to the perfection, Derek Jeter was a 14 times All-Star and a 5 times World Series champion, retired on 14/5. It's amazing, isn't it? It really is. Also, you know, I saw the news coverage of Derek Jeter pulling off the cover for his plaque that was established there yesterday, and he's with his pregnant wife. And I mean, you guys have probably all seen the video. Does Derek Jeter look happy? It looks like he's miserable. It looks just like how Michael Jordan's always miserable. You know why? Because these men know they sold their souls. They know that they're nothing but puppet stooges on strings, just going through the motions. And all that praise they get from the goy masses who can't see through how rigged sports are, you know, it doesn't mean anything to them because in their own heart they know the truth. That they're liars, they're frauds, they're deceivers, and they're owned. Michael Jordan, the most miserable looking motherfucker there ever was, he was there with Jeter yesterday for his retirement. Michael Jordan. I mean, aside from the gematria, people should be able to see how fake pro sports are, and then on top of that, they should be able to look at a face like Michael Jordan and ask themselves, why is he always frowning? Why does he always look so sad, like he doesn't have a soul inside him? The answer's clear. It's always been clear. So anyway, down in the below, I'll link this little playlist. A few other things I talked about in some of the other videos, such as the retirements in May. May has the gematria of 42, as well as 39, which is the really big number in New York. New York equals 39. NY's 39. NYC's 39. It's the Empire State. 39. The United Nations there is 39 floors tall. The first governor of New York, look it up, is George Clinton, born in 1739. Madison Square Garden, MSG 39. The name Madison with the single reduction is 39. Madison made 39 proposals that became the Bill of Rights on a date with 39 numerology. And the Bill of Rights are 10. 10 has gematria of 39. Madison's 39 proposals on a 39 date numerology became the 10 Bill of Rights. Think about the 10 commandments from the 39 books of the Old Testament. By the way, gematria is a Jewish practice, and it's Zionist Jews running the whole show who own all these people who've taken their souls. And, you know, just for a little encore performance, let me get rid of the single reduction. Baseball, gematria 54 in 2 methods. 54 outs in a complete game. Major League Baseball, check this out. Major League Baseball equals 162 in English ordinal, and notice how baseball is also 162. 162 games in a Major League Baseball season. Notice the gematria of MLB, 54, as well as 27. Notice what all of these numbers have in common. They all have numerology of 9. 9 innings in baseball, 27 outs per team. Show you something about baseball. With the single reduction, also 27. You see? Baseball, named after Doubleday. Doubleday has the gematria of 154, which is how many games used to be in a baseball season. And for one more kicker in Sumerian gematria, MLB, also 162, like the number of games in the season. The Yankees have won 27 World Series, every single one of them scripted by the numbers. Professional sports have been scripted all the way back into the 1800s. And don't take my word for it. Watch the Ken Burns documentary on baseball. It says very clearly in the documentary, in the early days of baseball, it was all conspiracy, it was all theater, it was all scripting to make the games exciting so people would watch. Well, guess what? It wasn't just the early days, it's all the way up to the present. And in the last 2 years, look at what I've done. Last year I said why the Cubs would win the World Series in spring training. The year before that I said why the Mets would be in the World Series. I thought they might win it. They didn't, but they made it. And by the end of the season I knew more and I showed why it was against the Royals. Had a lot to do with those numbers 39 and its reflection 93. And this year in spring training, I didn't do as much research, but I said everything lines up for the Nationals to do it this year, and the Nationals playing pretty well. There's also a narrative there for the Cubs again, but I really do think we'll see the Nationals make it to the World Series, and I suspect they'll play one of 3 teams. The Orioles, a Maryland World Series essentially, the Tigers, who are connected to the curse of the Cubs, or also the Astros, who I've been talking about now for 2 years in a row, and who Jeter just had his retirement against. If you missed my work on the death of the Tigers owner before the season, he died in a specific amount of days before the season began, go back and check it out. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time. One last point about the Houston Astros, who the Yankees were playing for the doubleheader. Houston Astros has gematria of 147, connecting to 22, the Master Builder, World Series like we talked about. Astros also has gematria of 43, like Derek. And again, this retirement, 43 days before his 43rd birthday. It was the Astros who could have once drafted Derek Jeter. And another thing I meant to say about May, think about, we're talking about free Masonry, Masons, the Mason. The sun has a lot to do with the symbolism of Freemasonry. Go back and see my work on the compass, the 47 degrees, the tropics, which measure time. It's all ritual, Truth Seeker. Until next time.